It's a cozy life I live. Some people would say it's boring, but to me it's the way I want to choose to live my life here on this earth. I'm not worried about clocks or time or days. In fact, some days just seem to run into the next. I spend most of my time here at my little homestead, and I'm always cooking and cleaning and taking care of my husband and my children. I say it's a very fulfilling life. Maybe some people would say my goals aren't very high in life and that I could achieve so much more. I could achieve riches and climb the corporate ladder and working away from home. But that's the life I never had before, and that's the life I never will have because it's not the life that I chose. Ever since I was a little girl, my mama taught me how to be a stay-at-home wife. You see, ever since I was born, my mom taught me to be a stay-at-home wife and a mother. This was the best gift that she ever taught me. I have two sisters who decided that they wanted to live more corporate lives, but I was the youngest in the family, and of course I share with you that I was adopted, and I soaked everything up like a sponge. And my mom taught me how to be a homemaker. She taught me the value in being at home and how important it was for homemakers. I am so very thankful that she taught me that value because that is where my life's goal and that is where my reward is. I can't help but point out to all of you that my mother was born and raised in a very plain Mennonite home. They were black bumper Mennonites. In other words, they were one of the plainest of the Mennonites. Their cars were black and the bumpers were black because in their community they felt like chrome was vain. Chrome on a vehicle was shiny and that was vain. And so my mother, while she left that plain church, she still kept a lot of her plain values, and she instilled them upon me. One of the biggest plain values that she instilled upon me was to be a stay-at-home mom and to be frugal and to enjoy cleaning and cooking and all of the things that mothers do at home. I never once considered getting a job outside of the home. That simply was something that I never desired. I never desired to live that life, though at times I thought it would be neat and fun to earn my own income through the years of my marriage. The thought of having to work away sent a chill up my spine. I just couldn't imagine what that would be like. Much of my memories are of my grandma and grandpa who remained plain on all sides of my family. So they were extremely plain and my relatives are plain. And those are the most cherished memories I have because I was a little bit of a different child. I was extremely sentimental and I just really watched my mother and I was very close to my mother. We were the best of friends. I have never had any bad memories of my mother and I not getting along. Now, my mother was very strict. In today's standards, my mother would be considered over the top in her strictness. But I think now, looking back on it, she was the way she was because she sheltered me. I was extremely sheltered and I was kept a lot from the outside world. I didn't know what drugs or alcohol or partying and crime, and I didn't know any of that life. I didn't know much about life. And you know what? I'm so thankful that she did shelter me. My life consisted of my mom and dad in mission work and spending time at home. So my mom and dad, we were home a lot, except for when we went on long trips. Some to Haiti, to Jamaica, to Mexico. We crossed the United States I think my parents went to every state in the United States, and I'm not sure exactly how many countries they went to, but it was many. My parents' closest friends were missionaries in Haiti, and so money was not an issue for my family because my mother was extremely frugal, and my dad was a mobile home salesman and had mobile home retirement parks. And so money was not an issue, and I got to travel the world. And I'm so thankful I was able to do that. But at home, I was very sheltered. We didn't go away a whole lot. Church was important to us, and I'm so thankful for being taught how to be a stay-at-home mom. So what exactly did my mom teach me? The first thing my mother taught me was every morning, get up bright and early, get yourself dressed, comb your hair, and start your day. Make your bed first thing in the morning before you do anything else, and then get yourself ready. She also taught me how to be a wife. She taught me that when my husband would come home from work, never complain, never tell him about the troubles for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours after he came home. She said, "Tessie, remember, your husband spent a long day outside of the home, and the last thing he needs to hear is your troubles. Make your home inviting, cook from scratch, and be a good little homemaker." My mother was always so particular, and everything had to be clean and tidy. And working hard was something that my mother instilled in me. We didn't lay around and watch soap operas. In fact, TV was very sheltered with me. I was only allowed to watch a few TV shows. And then when I got married, we didn't have a TV. I married into a family that remained plain and that were very strict as well about the Mennonite mom. And I just flourished under the wings of my plain Mennonite grandma Grove. So why did my mom and dad leave the plain Mennonite church if it was so great and they taught me the values of it? It was strictly only on one thing, and that was the doctrine. See, my mom and dad started reading the Bible, and in their plain church, they were taught that salvation only came through works. And that means if you wanted to get to heaven, you had to have works. And you never quite really knew if you were going to be going to heaven or not. You just hoped you got there. When my parents started reading the Bible for themselves, they realized salvation comes through Jesus dying on the cross for our sins. And it's not about works. We try to be the best that we can be, and we ask the Lord to forgive us of our sins. But we can know that we are going to heaven if we gave our lives to Christ. And the only reason why I'm sharing this part of it is so you can fully understand it wasn't because of the lifestyle so much as it was the doctrine. I do wish my parents would have stayed in the Mennonite church and would have still remained plain. I believe that you can be plain and you can still believe a little difference in the doctrine. But that's neither here or there, and that's all in the past. So I learn now how to be a plain Mennonite wife. Even though I don't dress plain, I'm like my mother, 100%. I still have the plain mentality, and I still have the plainness in me. Of course, no society is perfect, and in every community and in every type of family, there is always the bad apples. But looking upon it now, I am just so utterly grateful for the values that my mom and my dad taught me, and my husband's parents, and my grandma and grandpa's. They taught me who I am today. Yes, going back to your roots, it's so important to know where you've come from. It can help you with knowing where you're going. I absolutely love the peaceful lifestyle of the Amish and the Mennonites, because that's my roots. That's where I've come from, and that's where I will always be.